Hi there. Today in our lesson we're talking about how wisdom brings peace. This is our series on Solomon, part 7, from 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 12. So the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he had promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon. And the two of them made a treaty together. I'd like to review our previous lessons. If you recall, Solomon was a young man who became king in the nation of Israel. And as he started his role as king, he realized his limited knowledge for that position. So he asked God to please give him more wisdom. And God really gave him much wisdom, so much so that he became wiser than anyone in his generation. Well, there was a neighboring country, a man named Hiram. And this country was north of Israel, called Lebanon. So Hiram, the king of Lebanon, previously was a very good friend with Solomon's father, David. They had been friends for a long time, had mutual respect, and supported each other. So when Solomon became the new king, Hiram kind of patiently waited to see how Solomon would do as the new king of Israel. But when he saw his wisdom so greatly multiplied and his fame go around the world, they got together and discussed things and made this treaty. So they signed it together. Now, I believe that that treaty included the business sanctions or deals, and Solomon's goal was to build the temple of God. So if you recall, his father David really wanted to build that temple because as David knew the history, they worshiped at the tabernacle, which was a portable worship center that could be moved from location to location. And David wanted a permanent structure there in Jerusalem. But God told David that he could not be the one to build the temple. It had to be Solomon. David was known as a man of war. But when Solomon became king, in his reign, they made this treaty that would include aspects and agreements concerning buying supplies like cedar trees that would be brought to build the temple. Plus, there were various artists, other people that were skilled in working with metals like gold, silver, brass, and very good at forming them into the correct requirements for the blueprint. Well, in exchange for all of that, Israel would provide food, grain, and oats in trade for the workers and the lumber. So these skilled workers were very good. So that was all a part of this treaty that these two kings made. Even the country of Egypt, they had no problems with Egypt because, after all, Solomon even married one of the daughters from there. So here they were working and building this beautiful temple. A permanent temple, the house of God. Now, if Solomon didn't have that kind of wisdom, if he just had limited knowledge and tried to do things, I'm afraid he probably would have been at war. There's no way the temple could have been built. But God gave him that wisdom so he could run the country well and so that the house of God could be built. Now, in our lives, sometimes we are frustrated with problems. We need to learn to ask God for wisdom so that we can be at peace with others. We can have more friendships. The gossip would not be so strong as it is at times, and we can do more things for the Lord. Well, come back again tomorrow as we learn more about the life of Solomon.